wondering if I could ask you a response to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Do you live local?
Pretty close. Yeah, pretty close.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Hi, Anthony.
Could I ask you on a scale of 1 to 10 how open-minded you are?
Very open-minded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we were asking you to question what you've been told about living on a ball with water around it,
Yeah.
how open would you be to that?
I'm very open to it. I mean, I've actually come across it before.
All right.
It's
Okay.
a very interesting display you've got. So you believe this completely?
Well, it's not belief. It's annoying. It's annoying that we're on a flat station plane.
Yeah.
There's no proof that we live on a globe.
Yeah.
Are you aware that all those images are not real photographs?
Yeah, I'm aware of the dodgy stuff with NASA for sure.
Yeah,
there's a lot. I mean, I knew that image of the Earth was quite a weird one because it was the only one in existence for like 30 years.
Absolutely.
Which is ridiculous.
And it looks just like CGI. It just doesn't look real, does it?
Yeah.
No. So we go up and down the country and we do street interviews. And I've got a YouTube channel here, which we go from London to the Orkneys.
Right. Cool. And how are you finding it?
We find a lot of people like yourself who are open-minded. Not we necessarily expect them to believe that, but to actually think about it, contemplate it, and question what they've been told.
Right.
If I may say so, you were told, same age as me, around 5, when you believed in Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy, that you live in this spinning ball with water on it.
That's right.
And we just accept that without question.
I'm a primary school teacher. I've told other kids that.
Are you?
5 years old. It's crazy.
You're the third teacher that I've met who are starting to question this and saying, should I be telling the children this?
Well, actually, I left teaching because of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really.
Respect to you then.
Well, it's a very big problem, and I think what you're doing is very impressive. I have actually seen your channel.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
I'm very impressed with the work.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we're in a UK.
I don't know if you find that disappointing, but yeah, I'm very glad to meet you guys.
Oh, no, we're just, when we come across flat earthers in the street, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because people try to mock this, a lot of trolls and shills try to mock it.
Right.
But there's a huge growing number of people out there who know that all they had was a belief.
Right.
They have no evidence themselves.
Well, it's a very tough thing because, I mean, I don't think people are primarily driven by knowledge or facts. You know what I mean? They tend to be more driven by social, political influences.
Absolutely.
And that is the biggest problem you've got.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. But then I don't think intelligent mind is satisfied with theories and images.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I think there's a massive dissatisfaction in life today, generally, in Western civilizations, which is why I reckon this has exploded across the internet.
Yeah, it is exploding. There's just so many people waking up to it, and they're trying to suppress this at all costs. But you can't go back once you realise, everything I had was a belief. I believed everything I was told,
Right.
And like all your bodily senses, if we're in touch with our senses, no disrespect to schooling, but I feel schooling suppresses our natural senses over authority.
Right.
All your natural senses are telling you now you're not spinning faster than a speeding bullet.
Well, you don't even need to do that. I did physics at university, so I know quite well, like, in circular motion. So one of the things I continually say to you is that if you're moving at a constant speed, you can't actually feel the motion. Which is correct if you're moving on a perfectly smooth thing. But if you're moving in a circle, you're actually continually accelerating, because acceleration is changing direction as well as changing speed. Yeah. So something moving in a circle will continually accelerate. Yeah. So you'll have that continual feeling because it's always getting moved into a different direction.
Yeah.
So it's I think we are stationary.
Yeah, I think the argument is, but gravity helps it keep it at a constant speed, and
yes,
it's just all theoretical nonsense that they can't validate, they can't evidence. So
yes,
it's theoretical, all of it. Gravity, totally theoretical.
Well, the part of it attracting planets is theoretical,
and holding water to a ball.
Yeah, correct. Okay,
it's
but the dropping stuff. I mean, the thing is, the dropping stuff. The hard thing is because they've kind of sandwiched two things together, like a practical application, and then something that's completely theoretical. Yeah, that's what kind of throws people off because they can't separate the two.
Yeah, and we get clever dicks who'll pull something out of their pocket and drop it. See, gravity. I said, well, okay, we both agree that's dropped, but can you evidence that some force was pulling that to the ground? You can't. Yeah. That's a belief you have.
Yeah.
People have beliefs and they want to defend that at all costs rather than question it.
Yeah.
Be open to questioning what they've been told. But
well, I mean, a lot of it. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm just not that sold on the conspiracy side of things. I think stupidity sells a lot of it. You know, I think people just once you get the ball rolling on something, it's like the Emperor's new clothes.
Like, but I don't see this as a conspiracy. I just see this as we've been told lies, and we don't have any valid primary experience of living on a ball and all these distant planets. I mean, they could tell you a new planet's been found light years ahead.
Yes.
How can we verify that? How can we challenge that?
Right. Well, I mean, that's the same with all astronomy. All astronomy is non-verifiable speculation. I mean,
on my channel, I interviewed an astrophysicist, and I started off by saying, can we start off by agreeing that everything you're going to tell me here, well, the majority of it's going to be second-hand information, isn't it?
Yes.
And he went, well, okay. Well, of course it is, and he couldn't prove any of his points because he didn't anything.
But I mean, that's been cosmology right from the start. I mean, you know, Laplace, the guy who started cosmology, was sponsored by the French government essentially during the Revolution because, you know, they wanted to get rid of the idea of any kind of God, to get rid of the idea that there was any divine right of kings, to make sure they could get their democracy set up. So I mean, these things have all political motivations behind them.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, and it's not very hard to find that stuff out, you know, because they wrote about, people like Voltaire and stuff like that wrote about it quite openly in their memoirs.
I think a lot of people wrote about this openly, but you know, they had book burnings and things were suppressed. And
you mean writing about flat Earth?
And proving we're not on a globe, because I don't know if you're aware, but there was 5 scientific experiments that proved the Earth doesn't move.
Right.
Now they're not taught in school, and when I ask professors and students in science, did you know about these? No. Well, I mean, why not? The peer-reviewed scientific facts of experiments. I think it was 5. I can only remember Ailey's-Failure, Nicholson-Morley.
Yes, Michelson-Morley was the big one. I mean, that's very famous. Michelson-Morley.
And Sagnac,
because Michelson-Morley was the one that they used to prove that the ether didn't exist or whatever, but it actually proved the opposite. I mean, people just don't pay attention. I mean, they're kind of into Sunday Times science. Anything that makes a good couple of paragraphs.
But I think Nicholson-Morley and others, they went out to prove that the Earth's movement.
Right, but they couldn't pick it up.
They had to conclude that
they couldn't get the parallax because there is no parallax because it's not moving. Right. No, it's very interesting stuff, I have to say. So you're doing a tour of England then?
Britain, Ireland, Wales, Scotland.
Well, I'd say there's an interesting place. If you go up to the north coast of Ireland, you know where the Giant's Causeway is?
Yes, yeah.
So on the Giant's Causeway...
Whereabouts in Ireland are you from?
I'm from the Giant's Causeway.
Oh, well.
So this is how I know this, and you know, whenever this kind of came to the forefront...
we should go there because it's an amazing photographic experience.
But also, there's a perfect view, so you can see from the Antrim coast, you can see the coast of Donegal, and you can see the coast of the Inner Hebrides. So you've got like a perfect triangle, which is about 76 miles.
Is that Isla and Jura? You can
correct,
see?
Isla and Jura. And you can see the coastlines the whole way up, and you can see the headlines, and you've got a stretch of water, which I measured the hypotenuse across, which is 80 miles of completely die-flat water, which is, you know, that sold me straight away. I was like, once you've seen it, and you've got comparisons.
As we agreed, you can't go back, can you?
No.
And so many people are doing laser tests now, you know, across
I've seen them,
long distances and showing no curvature.
It's tough though, because I think that a lot of people, I mean, I would say probably about 80% of the population would not be confident in being able to draw conclusions from any kind of experiment. Do you know what I mean? I think, from what I remember...
Bit windy. I mean, there's...
Right, you're going to have to tie this down.
Yeah, I have to get some string. Just after I do this one, I'll...
One sec, guys.
I'll hold this while you're... I mean, you can do very basic experiments like go to a beach and people think a boat goes over the curvature of the Earth.
Right.
Take a zoom camera or a telescope and see the whole of that boat, proving it's not going over curvature.
Okay, but the thing is, like once you've done that, then you've got to make the stand.
How dare you throw my card away?
I'm actually going to hang on to that. You've got to make and it becomes a socio-political stand after that to go and say to somebody that that's what you've seen and that's what it means.
Yeah.
And I think that is a pretty big ask for most people because...
But then if I take them to the beach myself and they can look, so it's primary observations, and say, I can see the whole of the boat now. I really thought that had gone over the curvature.
Right, but the thing is, it's how much people are bought into like the entire framework of the authority structure of society.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the really big heavyweight thing.
It is.
Yeah.
And no matter how many proofs you show them, they're still resistant.
Right, because the thing is their livelihood, their existence.
Well, I would say it's because of this, the black area.
Right, okay. I mean, yeah, that's definitely... and
Cognitive dissonance.
right, because there's a whole kind of social and moral thing worn into it. I mean, human beings are very complex animals, but they are mostly social.
Yeah.
And that is such a heavy...
I would say I think we're quite simplistic, although we complicate it through not understanding ourselves. So our perceptions get a bit ski-whiffed because we don't really understand our own thinking.
Right.
Would you?
Possibly. I mean, like put it this way. I mean, with me, like let's say I can go and check out these experiments, and I saw the coastline. I go, it's flat.
Yeah.
Okay. I still would be very uncomfortable going into a classroom with kids and going, hey, look, guys, all of NASA, all of the government, the school board system, everything's wrong. The Earth's flat. Not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. But you set questions for these young minds to think critically.
Right.
Do you think children are taught critical thinking in school?
I think kids have it naturally. I mean, I can remember, I was brought up Catholic, which is quite an interesting thing because, you're taught a lot about the Bible and it's Bible school. You know what I mean? You're taught that the Bible is actually true or whatever. But then at the same time, you're being educated in the atheist education system, which is teaching you science and the Earth going around the sun and, all the science stuff,
No wonder we're all confused.
Right. So, I can remember that being very, as a child, at 7 years old, I can remember thinking, how can these two contradictory things be true?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you've got two sets of adults telling you that these two contradictory sets of things are true. And at some point, as you become a teenager, you've got to make a decision about which one you're going to commit to.
I don't know about you, but I thought I'm not going to commit to any of them because I thought it was a bit like the political paradigm of left and right, where both the same or they're both misleading.
Yeah.
So I thought there must be something else. I'm not buying any of these two because there was no proof of any.
I agree, but I did commit to one. I fully committed to the scientific paradigm. By the time I was 13, 14, I was Bible's load of rubbish, completely, and just went completely with the Richard Dawkins, Stephen Hawking's paradigm. That was my, and that lasted, a good 25 years until this thing came along.
Yeah, wow,
which is, and this is very interesting.
And where are you with your Catholicism now then?
Oh, well, I'm definitely Christian now, but I'm not Catholic.
Right.
I think the Catholic Church is largely responsible for this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Jesuits have got a lot to answer for, I think.
Yeah, I think they've sort of hidden from the main line of questioning over the past few years, haven't they? But only now people are starting to think,
right.
They seem to be behind everything.
Well, the thing is, the Catholic Church, like during the Reformation, if you look into Ignatius Loyola and the founding of the Jesuits, the Counter-Reformation was kind of launched by the Catholic Church because, the actual Reformation started destroying Catholicism so quickly. It spread like wildfire across the whole of the world.
Yeah.
And the Catholic Church, to fight back, basically tried to maintain control of the education systems. And in order to maintain control of the education systems, they got into like science, like maths. You look into the foundation of every single scientific I forgot what you call them now. Scientific areas, like chemistry, physics, maths. There are a lot of Jesuits involved, and the Catholic Church was heavily involved. And a lot of the astronomy, even the Big Bang came from George Lamarck, who was a Jesuit. Mendel, who invented genetics, was a Catholic monk. So there's these two things of religion and science are inseparable, despite the fact that people want to kind of pull them apart.
Yeah, I find yourself refreshingly open-minded, considering you've been through the system yourself.
Well, it's really nice to meet people who are actually out doing something.
Yeah, and what's your name?
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
We will certainly visit those steps.
Well, like I say, you got to go. That was one of the best places, I think, because I always kind of thought when I first looked into it and I saw the coastline, I thought, people who live inland, I would find it very hard to be able to, unless I've been able to see something like that with my own eyes and be able to check out the measurements on, because you can actually check out the height of the cliffs on the Ordnance surveys.
Yes.
So you can see that you've got comparative heights here. I've got a cliff here that's 200 metres high and a cliff here that's 200 metres high.
But just you seeing the Inner Hebrides, that's a very basic observation for people to say, break it out of the programming. Look, it's flat.
Well, yeah, the Outer Hebrides should be 60, I think I measured 600 feet below the horizon. I should not be able to see it from the north coast of Northern Ireland.
And you know, as an adult with critical thinking now, I'm thinking water flowing around the ball. Come on, why did I buy that? But then, of course,
Right.
I believe
But
in
I can
Santa
remember
Claus.
I'm sure you can remember sort of struggling with it when you were a
Yeah.
child. So that's why I'd say, but I mean, you shouldn't underestimate how much kids think.
Exactly, but then I feel that's suppressed out of us by, I'll be quiet, gravity, there you go. Oh, okay
Yes.
then.
Oh no,
So we stop
definitely is.
we
It
stop believing in
definitely
our own senses and our own critical thinking, you know.
Right. I mean, I do think that there's going to be a bit of a kickback about this stuff as well, because it just destroys. Yeah, I mean, I think this thing is a double-edged sword. You know, I think it's been a very clever. I mean, I do think that it is the Catholic Church largely behind it.
Well, on the back there, we've got some more. We got that's our website, leading to a lot of other interesting websites and.
Right. Well, it was real nice talking to you, man.
You too. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Thank you.
I'll check out your travels on
Oh,
YouTube.
fantastic! Yeah, this is the first today, so
Yeah.
it's 56 places in 8 weeks we're going to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good luck.
Well, thank you very much, man.
Good work.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Don't waste any more time. Visit the links above now and order my book 16 Emergency Landings Proving Flat Earth. Visit my online store now and order the new enhanced Gleason's Flat Earth map. This map used to be in every school and library in the nation before NASA was created in 1958, when the maps were ordered removed. Have your Gleason's map hanging on the wall in your house where no government can take it down. Here you see it hanging on a wall in the house of the late Charles K. Johnson. Here is a quote from the book 1984 by George Orwell. Every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered, and the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Order your map now.